There we go. Bringing back trade recaps again. My fault. I have been very inconsistent with them. We're going to bring them back now. I forgot to do it, but we're back with them. Okay. I care so much. I rushed to get on OBS to record this for you. I didn't even have time to put pants on. So we are running it up pantsless today. Just got out the shower in case you were wondering. So anyways, let's talk about the trade today. Talk about why it hit. Okay. Low key, won't lie to you. I was looking for shorts right around here. But then we ended up breaking structure and didn't mean nothing. So I was looking to excuse me? Okay, sorry. Like broke on me. I was looking to short when we first moved to this high right here, swept out that liquidity. But what you'll come to find out is we did not sustain those fair value gaps or even create the fair value gap on the 5 minute time frame, which is if you saw my live, you would have seen that it did. So first thing I did is the pre-market. I had marked out what I call it's really just a session level sweep where I call them session densities, basically where session sweeps overlap one another and create breaker blocks and order blocks. You'll see if I scroll back far enough and if the indicator, I don't know why it keeps turning off. I hate, stay on, be a good boy. Okay, you'll see I mark out this range of previous session highs and lows like inverted, and then we see two order blocks here, supply demand zones. We essentially just drew out the first fair value gaps on all three of these order blocks right here, but you don't see these two anymore because they got disrespected. This didn't get visited at all, but you get the idea. I drew out the first fair value gap here on this guy right there, and this is the session level sweep right here. We did not come up to this high, but I did expect some amount of price volatility here since we have that first fair value up. We have that sweep of liquidity. Then if I move over to our right hand side where we are right now, you'll see that we tap into this range of liquidity, respecting the first fair value gap, both the 2 and the 3 minute first fair value gaps on that previous sweep. Break a structure move to the downside, and then we also respected the session sweep. So we access the liquidity and respect the fair value gap. On the lowest time frame, like the 1 minute, I think it started on the 1 minute. I don't remember, but you'll see no 1 minute first fair value gap in this little range, but we had a 2 minute form right in there. I'm assuming that's also not showing for whatever reason. Why? Why? Oh, it is. Oh, I guess it isn't. Hold on. Boom. Let's try it again. You'll see it'll pop up in there. There we go. First, second, the first 2 minute fair value up right there, which then translated to a 3 minute fair value up down there as well. You'll see there's the first 3 minute fair value up that formed. So we had a 2 minute fair value up. This is not enough confirmation of the direction. Then we broke structure and initiated another 3 minute fair value up and also closed a 5 minute fair value up. You'll see pop up right there down here. Now in the live trade, I got in on the 3 minute and 2 minute breaks of structure right here. If you don't know about pointers, go learn about them. This is the pointer right here that I got in on. There's my entry on the 2 and 3 minute time frame, like I just said. And then you'll see right around here, I'm looking for the creation and maintenance of the fair value gap. Now we're continuing the fair value gaps in our favor here because what's happening is we gapped over a previous daily high, so my bias was bullish. Not meaning I'm looking for longs, but my bias was bullish for this point up until we hit the session sweep. So if you're taking longs, there was a great long at 10.16 to 10.21, somewhere in here, all the way to these highs. That's something you could have taken. That's a perfect trade that you should have taken. I was late to the market, so I did not do that. So essentially what I did is I just took the short off the sweep validation with a 2-3 minute translation of fair value gaps, and then we had an internal break of structure with that pointer. And then I just made sure that we were creating fair value gaps on the way down. Now the 5 was a little bit frisky. The 5 was a little bit rough. I thought we were going to create a fair value gap right here. We just needed to break past these lows right here. So this is telling me is we're relatively close to fair value. We're not creating the high time frame gap. So it's kind of a, if you see it translate from the 2 to the 3 and you're close to fair value, and the 5 closes like a fair value gap but then doesn't maintain, probably a sign you're more efficient than not. Doesn't mean you're not in a retracement, but it's a little bit more, you're probably in the lower end of the retracement, which you can see we were, because then we just started consolidating after this, which was pretty cool. So I was looking for the fair value up to get maintained here. That was lit. We see it happen on the 3. It gets sustained on the 3, right? It becomes a 3 minute fair value. That's why you got to use all of your time frames, right? You got to use all your time frames accessible to you. Otherwise, you're just cheating yourself. And make sure you're creating fair value gaps and potentially creating higher time frame fair value gaps to move to the downside. My first take profit point was the structural equilibrium between the swing low and swing high. My second take profit point was the first fair value gap that formed the opposite direction, meaning this guy right here. Okay, actually this was my first take profit point. Excuse me. I think it was a 2 minute or 2 minute. Yeah, it was a 2 minute fair value up in here. This is where I took profit off rip. I do that on my accounts I start off with. I'm a little bit quicker to the trim. It's just my my way of life, man. I'm just trying to build up that profit as much as I can. So I took profit on the first for value gap. Just touching the first for value gap, I was not willing to risk it. My bias is still bullish, so we actually inversed that, and then we held down to EQ, as you can see. Not a very big move in price, but then it just kind of slipped in between our hands there. But it was a pretty simple trade. Moved over the daily high, ran through the source of liquidity, didn't get sustained with the fair value back to the downside. Otherwise, we might have found a short even lower. Ran up to this previous daily high, or ran up even higher to another source of liquidity. Swept out some liquidity, respected its first fair value gap, generated two new fair value gaps on two different time frames. Broke structure, internal break, pointer, bearish order block, break of structure, fair value gap down to EQ. Simple implied move, and then right to this volume area right here, this session level liquidity from before, volume density, and then you'll see price just kind of consolidate for the rest of the day until the very end of the day, which I was watching this, but there's nothing I could do. There's like 10 minutes of this. This is 10 minutes of price action, basically. 15. But yeah, right down to the, it's kind of funny, to the tick EQ range. But something to think about. Worth holding? No, absolutely not. I don't care if this is double the take profit. Do you realistically want to hold a trade down for 4 hours? Bro, absolutely not. No chance on planet Earth. Unfortunately, I'd say this would make for a pretty boring day tomorrow, but we have like crazy news, so we'll see. But yeah, pretty simple trade. Hopefully it makes sense. If you have any questions, just hit me up. Let me know. Make sure to follow the Kick. Also, we've got a free Discord you can join in my bio, and also last but not least, got a deal with Apex. You can get 80% off all accounts. All the commissions that we make from that go to giving accounts back to my community. I don't want to make a single dollar from that. So if you're interested, use that code 80% off. WFirm. Appreciate y'all. Take care.